Good morning, all the viewers. We have today as a speaker U. Saran Kumar. He has also taken class in the last session, and something has been left out. So today he is going to complete the topic. And we have with us our Vice Chairman Sridhar Mapala. And as a special address, we have requested CA Dayaneva Sharma. So many council members appeared in this practical training module, but the most important person for the student is the Chairman Board of Studies Academy. Dayaneva Sharma is presently Chairman Board of Studies Academy, not only doing the regular work. This year he is taken a special task of that is great. All the students must be aware that after some interval, ICI do the revision of the syllabus as well as the training programs. So CREAT is the committee for review, education and training. Dayaneva Sharma is chairman, and so many things, wherever digital things, information technology in ICI, Dayaneva Sharma is the person who is handling all this. Before I request Dayaneva Sharma to give his special address, I am requesting Sridhar Mapala to address all of
you. Good morning, Chairman, sir. Good morning, Daya, Sharan, and all our team of Board of Studies, Vidhi, Kapil, Gnandeep, and all the people who have really made it today. And a very good morning to all the students, and a welcome to the 21st live webinar, which is being continuously running for the past 21 weeks. I really appreciate all the students for really taking out your time on Sundays and coming out, and also appreciate the entire team of BOS operations for really sparing their valuable Sundays for the benefit of the students. And coming to the speaker, I really say that the feedback what we got in last week, there is a huge request from the students to continue the remaining part of it. So as a part of that, you know that automation tools for an effective audit. So we call him as Excel Saran because that is the expertise he carries in the technology era, and that will be more beneficial to all the students in the current technology, this thing. So I wish that the same effective approach of the live webinar will be carried out in the current week. And also with us, today we have two specialities. On the top of the screen, all three of us are from Hyderabad, both the council members and the speaker. And second thing, the two BOS chairmen are on the screen, BOS operations and BOS academics. So therefore, it's an interesting time for the students also to know, as all of you know that CREAT was introduced and Daya and his team are fully occupied in finalization of syllabus. Let me share a continuous series of meetings are happening for every subject, and all the experts from the country are being part of it to decide upon what should be the revised content of the syllabus, how it should be dealt and all. So everything related to the students are happening this week. Even with regard to the session, in case if you have any doubts, you can please put it your message on the chat box. We'll revert back during the session. In case if it is not, we'll revert back through the mail. And I request you, since anyway you are in the process of syllabus finalization and all, and almost let me share you, there's a 21st week going on. The average attendance of each live webinar is 10,000 plus. And again, thousands of people are seeing the recorded version on our DLH platform. So I request you to kindly put your words of wisdom and also the information and the approach of CREAT we followed and the syllabus being finalized. Thank you, Daya. Over to you. And Daya, just a minute. Before that, with the request to kindly introduce the guest of honor for today.
Yes, sir. Welcome, Daya sir. Now, students, I just want to tell you that Daya sir is the Chairman Board of Studies Academics, and he is also looking after the module that has been introduced for the benefit of the students. He possesses over 18 years of experience in the field of accounting, auditing, corporate restructuring, and other related financial management services, overseen and managed large audit engagement during his stints at PwC. He's a certified forensic and information system auditor, certified by ICI. He's a quoted public speaker in the fraternity and astute professional, exception focus and innovative mindset. His professional engagement across India and international market gave a global outlook to the firm. He has been amongst the 70 young India visionaries operating in UAE. Currently, he is looking after the different committees of the ICI, and the major one is the Academic Board of Studies and the He was also a vice chairman of the Digital Assurance Board in 2022-23 and the chairman of the Center of Excellence, Hyderabad. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Vedi. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman of the SSCB Board of Studies Operations, Sushil Bhai. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to come and interact with the students this time again to share certain very interesting things. And Sridhar, thank you very much for setting the tone right. In the sense, like, what I need to speak is one part and how much I need to speak is second part. You have given me the entire content for sharing with our students, because all of us are keen that the students get the best out of what we can give, or they can ask more, we will try to give them more. That is the whole thought process with which we are actually running these two boards very effectively, because these are the two boards which are actually the heart of the entire institute. Board of Studies Academics, Board of Studies Operations, both are important part of the entire ecosystem. What to say about Charan? You have rightly said, Sridhar, he's an Excel of Excel Charan. Excel in the sense he's excelled into Excel, and I have been sharing a lot of stages and seminars with him. And one of the person who is very close to the ground and teaching to the members. And I think today getting that opportunity for the students is something very, very good. Let me first compliment the institute, ourselves, and the student to have a thoughtful approach for our students. Now let us take an example of, we are talking about today practical training module for our students. That means whatever the theory is being discussed at a larger level is being discussed at a micro level, so that the people understand how that can be applied, whether it is GST, whether it is income tax, whether it is audit, because it is not compulsory that every student gets that exposure. But it is our responsibility that we give that exposure to our students. Example, there is a firm which is more of a tax. So they are not getting exposure of, might be Excel in a true sense, or might be audit or GST. I think we had conducted a couple of very interesting sessions, right, Sridhar? All topics are being subject-wise, we are covering very effectively the entire operation. So this is something for the student benefit, which is there from SSCB. Now, this part of practical training, practical learning experience need to be assessed. Need to be assessed how? Now, what we are getting training here, there is a practical assessment test for our students, which is conducted from Board of Studies Operations. So the students, if they complete first year and second year of their articles, they can effectively go and complete their assessment test and assess what I have learned during this learning experience. So one is the subject, second is this class which we are talking about now, and third is the assessment test which is based on our practical aspect. Now, this doesn't stop here. What is happening is, in Board of Studies Operations as well as academics is focusing on what? Mock test as well. Now we are going to start mock tests from 27th of September for our students, which will again be for your benefit. So the 360-degree view, when you look at, is primarily from the point of view, one, you get registered, you get educated, you get practical training through these classes, then you assess yourself through practical training, and finally complete a mock test before you go for writing your examination. So these are the stages which are being planned by ICI so effectively that every portion is very critical for each and every student. So I request and urge every student to kindly take this entire thing as one unit for your benefit. That is one point of today's discussion. Excel, less said is better, I think. Today, let me share with you students, my daughter who's in 10th standard, in her school, they are teaching about all Word, PowerPoint, Microsoft, all activities. This is Microsoft 365. And more importantly, they are being taught in a sense where they are able to work with the computer. Now here is the point where in SSCB, which is Board of Studies Operations, is now getting the ITT and advanced ITT upgraded for you all people. That means today when we are designing the syllabus, as rightly said by Sridhar, the completion, first you do a CRET, which is the policy of regulation, which has been completed, approved by the council. Then it is placed before the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. From Ministry of Corporate Affairs, with whatever tweaking, it will come back to the Board of Studies. We need to deliberate this. Okay, and then we have to go for public exposure. We have got the public exposure. We again went back to Board of Studies. We took the assessment. Then we went to the council, and finally we have given our recommendations to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs for final assessment. That means the ones that is being done, we are actually going to come out with a new syllabus. So we are not even waiting for that much time. We already started working towards creating a new syllabus for you all together, where we have revamped most of the thing. People think that, we only edit the previous ones and get it for you. No, this time the institute for you has done very interesting thing, where we have done a comparison. What is my past? What should be my future? And what is it comparable with the international bodies? So your recognition goes in a total different tangent. That is our approach which we have followed. In this process, when you talk about Excel as a tool and all advanced feature of Excel plus SAP, Oracle, Zoho, Tally, all these kind of products are going to be available for you to do a sandbox approach. That means you will have a simulators where you need to sit with the user and password, and six months you will be getting that entire access. And the best part which we are trying to work out is, if you do Microsoft related all training, you will be eligible to write Microsoft exam. So you will become a certified Microsoft resource. Equally, we are trying with SAP, where in stage 1, which is before qualifying intermediate and before writing final examination, you will be actually taken through the entire SAP course. In the entire SAP course, what will happen is, by the time you complete that portion, Sridhar, this is one very interesting thing which we deliberated recently, where we are trying about, if these students are able to write that examination post our ITT and advanced ITT, that will be considered for the practical aspect of SAP. They only have to go and write their examination in SAP, and they'll get global certification as SAP consultant. This is what we are working for our students. Please understand, we want more and more of you to be more and more empowered and more skilled, so that you are the answer to the $5 trillion economy in time to come. Not $5 trillion economy, but might be 10, 15, 20. We want our students to be the truest professional, in a sense where you have everything on your fingertips. So our entire ecosystem of ICI, all my council colleagues, fortunately, my brother Sushil Bhai, Sridhar, all of us are working towards giving you as much as possible in time to come. Also, we are working out for the GMCS and orientation, how qualitatively we can teach and who should be the faculty in the entire process, and more is yet to come. So my dear students, please take it from me, the new course which you are going to learn is going to be something different, which will be comparable with the international standards, and we will stand to the government need that we are available to ensure that the economy is completely supported from our end. So with this, I wish you a great learning with Sharan, because Sharan, yes, we all are trained with him. So I am pretty confident that this man is going to take you to the entire fire and ice, learning model, which is going to be very interesting. Wish you all a great learning. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daya. And students, as Daya was saying, really putting a lot of effort. Your institute is working for your benefit. Please let us know in the form of your suggestions or feedback also. As Daya told, we are though working. In case if you want anything, please ask us. We'll be here to really support us. And we want to empower you with all the techniques. And thank you, Sharan, for really being a part of this session and really empowering the student. I was interacting even with some of the students who attended the session. They expressed utmost happiness. They were saying that, sir, we thought we know Excel, but now we know that we know a little in the Excel. So there is a lot of realization. My dear students, I would like to say these all sessions are meant for you to give an information and an understanding. Your expertise depends upon how well you practice further. As Daya told, not in all firms you are getting an exposure towards every segment like TDS or GST or income tax like that. So SSEB is trying to make sure that all the webinar approaches are meant to give an exposure so that tomorrow when it comes to your examination or post qualification, it really help our students. So thank you, Daya, for being a part of today's session and for sharing your valuable words. With the request, our team to kindly introduce the speaker and let's go with the session. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Welcome, Saran sir. As everybody said that the last session was well appreciated by all the students, and now I welcome you for this particular session. We'll continue with the session on the Excel tools. You are a qualified chartered accountant in the year 2010, completed your diploma in the information system audit from ICI. He is also a certified holder in forensic audit and the fraud detection and the course on concurrent audit from the ICI. He worked with Microsoft and Crisis Bank for more than 4 years. Presently, he is a managing partner in P. Satyanarayan Company. His specialization includes statutory audits, internal audit, forensic audit, transactions audit under the IBC, automation of financial process, data analytics, including reconciliation, etc. Having overall more than 10 years of experience in handling data analytics tools like MX, Excel, IDEA, Power Query, etc. He is regularly faculty of FAFD certification course conducted by ICI. He's been the guest speaker of various seminars conducted by ICR on the topics of data analytics with Excel, audit with CBS environment, and Excel as an audit tool. I welcome Saran sir for you. Hand it over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vidhi ma'am, for the introduction. And I thank SSEB operations for giving me the second opportunity. Last week when they called me and asked me to take the session, it was 2.5 hour session I have taken on the automation via different tools. When they used a word about different tools, I was briefing for a chartered accountant in practice or a student in articleship period. What are the real tools which are required? The demonstration went on Microsoft Excel. The demonstration went on IDEA tool. The demonstration went on ETL tool like Power Query and so on. When Alok called me 3 days back and asked me to take the continuous session as part 2 to take the topic into the next level. So I said, Alok, why can't we try with some practical demonstration on the topic what we have covered a week back, so that students will get benefit and at least a thought-provoking or at least a provoke will happen towards automation, because I'm sure industries will only appreciate the students once they qualify how much time they are going to save. The only way we can save the time is the automation. There is no other way. Automation in the sense immediately our mind will get a lot of programming tools, artificial intelligence and so on. But let me tell you a fact that even using the Microsoft Excel, you can do great automation, because Excel is not a simple Excel what you are thinking. Excel is having a lot of great weapons. That includes the Power Query, that we call it as a ETL tool. The beauty part of Microsoft products is, if you learn one item of Microsoft Excel, that is the base for all other products it is working on. I request you to spend some time on the white paper of the data flows, what Microsoft released to introduce about the data flows. The entire data flows, which gonna be the heart of the organizations in coming future, for which the background engine is nothing but the Microsoft Excel engine. So you can understand how beauty it's gonna be. So I request students who are attending the session, if you want to get best knowledge into the future tools, first the basic tool is Microsoft Excel. In fact, I should thank Alok. In the last week, last question he asked me, Sharan, how we can go ahead in learning all these tools? What is the path? I request you go to visit the YouTube channel. Last week, ICI TV, last week session, last 15 minutes, I have given the path where you need to start Excel, how you can go ahead learning the advanced thing, through which how you can go to the Power Query, from Power Query, how you can land into the Power BI, how it's gonna help you the Power Automation and Power Apps. As I told you, in future, in next 5 years, there will not be a word called a coder. There will be only a word which will remain is a citizen developer. The meaning is every citizen in the country will be in a position to build their own applications. That means you can sit at your office, you can build a small application for your organization without even spending a single rupee, without even writing a one line of the code. That is what the meaning of it. So let me go into the today's session without taking much time. As usual, as I mentioned in the previous week, my sessions are generally not too much of PowerPoint sessions. In fact, the core thought process of these trainings are practical oriented trainings. So my sessions also more on the application than just the theory. However, let me just set the tone what I'm going to talk for next couple of hours. This is what in today's session I would like to really focus. As I mentioned, Microsoft Excel is a hundreds of hours learning tool. It's not something where you can spend 2 hours or 3 hours, you can learn it. We cannot even cover one single feature of Microsoft Excel in 2 to 3 hours. However, we can give you, at least through this session, I can give you a structured way of learning a couple of important features of Microsoft Excel, that is pivot table and the relationship concept in the pivot table. If you are using 2013 version, you can find the concept called relationship. If you are using the old version of 2010 or 2007, this particular concept is not available. But understanding this concept, I'm sure you will appreciate how, if you have a data in more than one table, how you can combine the tables and do the real data analysis. Chartered accountant is meant for not only just the audit, doing a scientific audit, not only just the audit, doing the proper analysis. So proper analysis can be only dealt with experience together with the application. If you just have an experience in the function, you may not really do the great analysis because the data is in the voluminous. Okay, so the data is very big. So obviously we cannot do the proper analysis, though we have a great functional knowledge. But the other knowledge which you had, which you should have is that is nothing but a technology skill. So when you have a huge data, the data have been properly arranged into different tables, how you can get all the tables data together into one Microsoft Excel application, how you can analyze the data. That is what I'm going to cover. For your information, it's not something where you need to download another tool. It is part of your pivot table. I don't know how many of you was finding an icon called relationships that we are going to demonstrate. And as I always mention, when I talk about Excel, earlier we always try to talk more about the VBA, Visual Basic for applications. We always talk about the Visual Basic coding. But VBA coding is always, the programming language. It is the code we will be writing in the Visual Basic. But thanks to Microsoft, which they introduced from the 2010 version, which can be part of as an add-in 2010 and 2013 version, and from 2016 version, it is part of Microsoft Excel, the great ETL concept implemented, that is nothing but the Power Query. In fact, in last week, I have taken some demonstration with respect to the Power Query, how to analyze the data for the audit, how to take the samples of the out of the data, how to extract the daybook relating to a particular ledger, and so on. But in today's session, I'll be taking entirely different towards handling the more data. When you have a Power Query in your hand, let the data be there in 100 Excel files, 1000 Excel files, even 10,000 Excel files. But with just a couple of clicks or buttons, you will be in a position to combine, consolidate, analyze the data. So when I talk about the combine, Power Query is having two great aspects. One is merging the data. The other one is the appending the data. The words itself are self-explanatory. Merging means when I have two tables where there are different columns, but one or two are the common columns. Considering these two common columns, I can merge the data together, which I can denormalize the data. The meaning of denormalization is keeping all the tables data together into one table. Right? Normalization in the sense, keeping one table data into different related tables. And the next one is nothing but the appending. I'll be covering in today's session if time permit. The meaning of appending is a very self-explanatory. If I have 100 tables, for example, 100 sales data, I'm analyzing the data for the last 12 months. Each month file is stored in one folder. I want to combine all the 12 months file together, but not one after other. Appending is basically keeping the data one below other. Appending is only possible in the cases when the headings are same as similar. Then probably it's going to put everything one below other into the proper structured way. Then all the 12 months data can be appended, which is nothing but the consolidated data now. Now I can start analyzing this data using the powerful tool called pivot table and so on. That is what the console feature into the Power Query. Most of the time in today's session, we will be talking towards this. I know that Excel is an ocean. Okay, it is very difficult to swim, throwing you into a Pacific, asking you to swim in 2 hours from one side to the other side. But you can learn the swimming techniques, how to swim fast. Probably this practical session help you understanding how you can better use the tools and at what situation, what type of the tool can rescue you. That is very important. It's not about learning the tool. It is about in the tool, what feature can rescue you. Probably with my 2 hours of demonstration in next 2 hours, I'm going to touch upon the techniques, rules, logics, principles on which the entire application of pivot table and Power Query work. And finally, if time permit, we will do the we will have one practical demonstration on the automation of the reconciliation statements. Because if you go to any chartered accountant office for an articles, or even after completion of your CA course, if you go to any industry, they'll ask you a question towards the reconciliation. I still remember my articleship days when I went for the interview. All the interviewers, all the principals that time, chartered accountants, asked me a question. Do you know the bank reconciliation statement? Though it is just a word of bank reconciliation statement, the entire world understood the meaning of the reconciliation. Everywhere the word of reconciliation in one or other way is working out. So if time permit, using the Power Query, how we can do the reconciliation automation so that if I change the base data, my entire reconciliation will automatically change, right? In our pivot table, these are the concepts which are very important. Not sure how many of you already know these concepts. If you already know it, I request you unlearn what you learned. Okay, you can anyway get it back. But next 2 hours, with respect to the pivot table, unlearn whatever you learned, because I will take you from the basics, give you the principles on which the entire pivot table work. Then we will understand the different levels of grouping. In pivot table, there are 3 different levels of grouping we can have. One is the text grouping. The other one is the number grouping, the very important one for the audit analysis, especially to make the stratifications. And the third grouping is date level grouping. Out of text, number, and date. If let me frame the question in this way. I'm just asking you, thinking you are going to reply either in the YouTube comment section or in the application Zoom section. You can give your comments. If I have 3 columns of text, number, and data, which column give me more scope for the analysis? If you ask me, out of text, numbers, and date, I give the vote for the data. The reason behind it is, if one single date column is available, you can do your analysis in n number of ways, because date is not just a date. It is having so many components inside. Just to make it few, it is having a year component. That means I can do my analysis with respect to the year. It is also having the month component. I can do my analysis with respect to the month. I can do my analysis with respect to the day. I can do my analysis with respect to the weekday, whether it is Saturday or Sunday and so on. Especially when you are analyzing the expense data in an organization for the auditor. My eyes should always look towards how many transactions happened on Saturday or on Sunday. are on public holiday. So how can you analyze the data? It is very difficult, right? So using the date grouping, you can do that. You can also have a week number in the data. You can also have a time related information that includes minutes, hours, second. Out of all the transactions, I will pick up the exceptional data in the sense exceptions in my entire data sets. I know that the organization always work from morning 6 o'clock, morning 9 o'clock till evening maximum 8 o'clock. But surprisingly, some of the transactions found midnight at around 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Is it not something suspicious? And the two on holidays. Then this is the data I have to extract for the analysis. That is the real analysis. And then I'll immediately pick up who is the user ID has taken these, has posted these entries. Then immediately I look into the other different aspects of that particular employer. Whether this employee is related to any key management personnel, or whether this employee, what is the role of this employee and the expenses he posted, but whether he is having a eligibility to post the expenses as per the authorization level and so on. How you can do the analysis unless you keep the data segregated into the hour wise or minute wise and second wise, right? That is what we are going to cover in the grouping section. The second important part is relationships. The meaning of relationships is, especially, in fact, I appreciate how great time the Daya is spending with respect to the students board, because board of studies, especially the practical training towards what he was spoken about, SAP, Oracle, PeopleSoft, all these ERPs related and all the Microsoft related products. I really appreciate if that can be 100% implementable. I'm sure in next 5 years, the students who will be going out of from the CA fraternity, I'm sure they'll be the outstanding people, because whatever the theory knowledge we have, because I worked with the two companies, one is Microsoft and the other one is Credit Suisse Bank. One is the legendary company in technology. The other one is another leading in the banking sector in Switzerland. Both the places, what I felt is chartered accountants are best in analyzing the things, but not so great using the tools and technology. If you have a brain of understanding any functional side, if you have a couple of weapons to make your thought process into one small tool and give a life of it, that is what the automation people will appreciate it. Because in all the organizations, people always measure your performance, how much time you are saving to the organization. The only way we can save the time is using the tools. When it comes to SAP or PeopleSoft or Oracle or any of the ERP for that matter, at the back end, the data gets stored into the databases. When the data gets stored into the databases, I don't think so it will be into one single table. It will be into hundreds of tables. Whoever having little experience with respect to the SAP, go to the SAP website or just ask your people already having an experience. I'm sure you will appreciate with this example. SAP at the backend is having hundreds of tables for sales, for products, for organization, verticals, for cost centers. Every item, there was a table at the backend. But whenever you take sales data, you can max analyze the sales related information, but you cannot combine the sales information to some other domain or some other functional side of the organization information. That is only possible using the relationship. Okay, at the back end, if you use the SQL server or MySQL or SQL, it is a structured query language. It is RDBMS. It is relational database management system. But when it comes to the Microsoft Excel, that functionality was missing, but it is part of your Excel now. That is with the option called relationships. And of course, slicers and timelines are another great features through which you can filter the data and you can just slice and dice it. Report filter pages and calculated column. When it comes to Power Query, I have already given you what is the meaning of combine, what is the relevance of duplicate query, and what is the relevance of reference query. There is a lot of difference between duplicate, reference. Duplicate is basically till the point, whatever the steps you perform, you are just copying the query and pasting. It is like copying and pasting my Microsoft Excel worksheet into the other sheet. Reference query in the sense, first query is the base for the second query. If you change something in the first query, the result will automatically taken as a feed for the second query. This is nothing but Microsoft Excel formulas. If you change your original cell value, automatically my referred cell value will get changed. That is nothing but using the formulas. Okay, so don't worry, we will go into the Excel now. And to make this session more live, more useful, and more meaningful, I would like to introduce you the demo file so that you can appreciate what exactly the content this file is having. As I was mentioning, I've just taken an example of, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I have taken an example of e-commerce data. Just give me 1 minute. I'm stop sharing my screen because the data got missed, though I copy pasted. Just give me 2 minutes. In the meanwhile, I request either Vidhi ma'am or someone, could you please confirm whether my voice is clear and the screen is properly visible for the members?
Yes, sir. Everything.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Now the data is ready. Friends, if you observe, this is the sales e-commerce data. Okay, this data is basically customers related, and this data is basically the fact related. Let me tell you a couple of important keywords when you want to deal with the data, either in SQL or in any of the database management system. The keywords are nothing but the fact table and a dimension table. Okay, for example, this is the e-commerce data. There are 5 files are there. This is customer dimension table. This is in the CSV format. Many a times the CSV format opens with a text file. In fact, I appreciate always you try to open the same thing with the text file. How to open this in the text file? Just open with, use another app, take the notepad, always use this app, click OK, so that all your CSV files got turned into the text files. Why I am requesting you not to open with Microsoft Excel is, now if I open it, we think this is an Excel file and we do a lot of changes. We do a lot of formatting. We'll apply a lot of pivot tables and so on. But once you do anything, whenever you save the file, but understand at the back end, the file architecture is a CSV. It is not going to store what you have done. All the formatting related, all the functionalities related, it will erase. It's going to keep only the data. That is what the problem. That's the reason I always request students and members, whenever you deal with the CSV files, always open in the text format so that you will copy this data and paste into Microsoft Excel, which is .xlsx, and you can do a lot of analysis. Now, friends, let us see what is there in the customer dimension file. There is a customer name. There is a province, there is a region, there is a customer name, a customer segment, and there is a customer ID. If you observe this data is only talking about the customer ID. Okay, probably you can correlate the same thing with a SAP application like vendor master data or client master data or maybe employee master data or any other individual related. So this is the customer ID, customer segment, customer region, customer province, and customer name. And also customer ID is the unique one. So in the database, any of the data set, if you take it, any of the table, one column must be the unique value. So that, in fact, in Microsoft Excel also, you can appreciate this concept. Whenever there is a unique value, you can get the data from this table into the other tables using which function of Microsoft Excel? VLOOKUP function. Okay, but here, if I want to get the customer segment into some other table, where in that table, customer ID is part, then what is the function I should use it? I should use the VLOOKUP function, looking for the customer number of that table, looking into this table and getting the information of the customer segment. Let me open another file. This is an order dimension file. Whenever you order any order from the Swiggy or Zomato, at the back end, I'm sure Swiggy also capture order related data. There's an order date, on which date you are ordering, order priority, whether it's a primary or high or low priority, and what is the order ID, because this is the unique number through which they will identify each order, right? So this is what the order dimension. Product dimension. I'm sure once you order, you will select the product. When it comes to the product, they need to settle the product related amount to the vendors and so on. Or else they must need to know, for example, breakfast, how much they are serving. Okay, maybe for lunch, how much they are serving and so on. So all the product related information is there as a product ID, product subcategory, and product category. And there is another information called shipping dimension. This is nothing but the delivery information. So what is the ship date? What is the shipping mode, whether it is regular air or delivery truck or a flight and so on. So the other one is for which order, because ship ID always has to connect with the order ID. And product ID, product information always connect with the product ID. And the order ID always connects with the order ID. And the customer dimension, customer ID. So these all are the dimension. The meaning of the dimension is we can use the values in the dimension for the filters, or else for the row or column values, but not as a values, because till now I did not find any factual information. It is only the master data, but where are the facts? This is what the facts. Fact is nothing but a transaction. Transaction is a fact. For example, if you go to any DMart, the person who is sitting at the cash counter is always trying to input the facts, each customer fact. So whenever he takes the customer, automatically it linked to the customer ID, then what is the order and what product he bought and what is the sales amount, whether he paid through card or credit card or phone pay or cash, and what is a change he has given it to them and so on. So if you observe here, order ID, product ID, ship ID, customer ID, all primary keys of the respective dimensions are displayed here, because order ID can be unique, but one order can have two facts possible. I can order biryani, I can order also ice cream, right? That's possible. There are two facts which can be part of one order. So order ID can be repeated and product ID also can be repeated, because for one particular order, I can have two products separately, or else one customer can have two different products, right? Or else 5 customers can have the same product. If that is the case, product ID is different. Product ID can be a duplicate in this data set. Ship ID, the meaning of ship ID is for each order, what way they are going to deliver and what is the shipping data. So ship ID can be even duplicate. One customer can have n number of orders every day. For example, if someone is ordering from the Zomato, then probably that customer ID is also duplicate. And facts are from here. What is this? Sales information is there, discount information is there, order quantity information is there, profit information is there, shipping cost, product based margin, and so on. Friends, I have taken the e-commerce data. You can very much compare this data with the real audit data, because I'm talking about a pure sales data with the vendors or with the clients or with other information with respect to the fixed assets and so on. Consider this entire information is there stored at the backend into the SQL server. Okay, fine. Now I will just go to Microsoft Excel. Let me open my Excel. Now I want to start doing the analysis. First, what I can do, I will copy this data, customer dimension data. Otherwise, what I'll be doing, I will use let me open this. Control A is the shortcut, Control plus C. Let me go here to my Microsoft Excel, Control V. As you know, this everything is coming into one single column. I can go to the data tab. I can go to text to column. This is one of the very important and beautiful feature, because this is entirely presented as a text now in one single column. Now I want to convert this text into multiple columns. So there is a feature called text to columns. This you can find in the data tab, data tools group, and the text to column, right? Text to column is always possible for two different types of text files. One is the text file where every column is separated with a delimiter. That means especially the comma separated value, because comma itself is a separation for each field. Or some of the cases, the pipe symbol, some of the cases, semicolon, some of the cases, some other symbol. The other one is the fixed width. Fixed width is basically, okay, meant for the reports. For example, bank audit is the best example. Let me show you another example from my data. You can see the bank audit files so that you can appreciate how a fixed width file can looks like. What I'll be doing, let's go to the SARC data, raw data. Yeah, check it out. This file, if you observe, this for one of the bank, don't worry, this is fabricated data. This is not a real data. I changed everything in this data. But if the fact is, if you look into this report exactly fit for one page, one vertical, page. And it is having so many pages. Each row exactly fit into the size of the paper, either A4 or A3 based on the report meant for. Probably in this bank, this report of loan balance file is meant for the printing in the A4 size paper. If you look into the A4 size paper, the width is same. Maximum, 120 characters or 150 characters. It is based on the size of the paper. That means while designing this report itself, the back-end designers understand how many columns should fit into A4 size paper and each column and how many characters it can occupy. If you observe here, account number will never go beyond this column. Account type will never go beyond this column. Customer number will never go beyond this character. Customer name also will never go beyond this. Limit also will never go, and so on. If you observe carefully, these all are the number of columns. Maybe this is in a landscape format meant for the printing. Whenever this type of data you have to convert into text to column, I need to select the fixed width. But the data which I am dealing as of now is not a fixed width. It is a CSV format. So that means it is the comma separated value. So I need to select the delimiter. So let me go to the data tab. Let me go to text to column. Let me click the delimited. By default, it got selected. Let me click next. In this step, it is asking, Sharon, what is the separation delimiter? You can select so that I can cut the column. So if I select the comma, it exactly cut the column wherever there is a delimiter. Now you can just click finish. Wow. Now my entire data got segregated into different columns. Now let me rename this column as customer dimension. I always use a word called dimension or fact so that I'll get to know how I can relate the tables. Now, very quickly, without taking much time, let me take the other dimensions data. Let me copy this. Now, this is the order underscore dimension. The beauty part of text to column or any of the text to column feature is, if I do Control V, it automatically remembers the way how you have done the text to column. It do it automatically for you. But at the back end, it remembers in the cache memory. For example, once you close this entire Excel application and open it again, it will not happen automatically. Okay. So order dimension also I copy pasted. Now let me take the product dimension so that you can understand how exactly we can analyze this data. Let me also quickly take Control C, Control V. Automatically got text to column. Now the last dimension table I have is the shipping dimension. Now let me take this. Let me do Control plus A, Control plus C. Let's go to my Excel, Control plus V. Automatically it understood. Wow. Now the last file, let me take the facts file. Now let me make it as a market underscore facts. So this is a factual information. Let me open this text file, Control plus A, Control plus C. Let me do Control plus V. Wow, wonderful. Now, let me close all the text files. Not at all required for me. Let me just right click here and close all the files. Wonderful, right? But friends, if you observe, there is a sales data here, there's a discount, order quantity, profit, shipping, and so on. As I mentioned, this is a fabricated data which I have prepared for the session, right? So don't try to look into the real values into the data, but try to understand the concept. Now, guys, customer dimension is having the customer segment. The customer segment can be small business, consumer, corporate, home office, and so on. Now, if I ask you a quick question, how I can analyze my sales data for customer segment wise, then immediately what you're gonna do, put the answer in the chat box or live comment section of the YouTube. I'm sure if I'm not wrong, you will insert another column here called segment, right? You will write a VLOOKUP function, look for this customer ID, going into this customer dimension, you will take this table, you will get the second column value. Is it? No, first column value as an answer. But unfortunately, your Microsoft Excel VLOOKUP function will give you wrong answer called any. Do you know the reason why? Because VLOOKUP function having not just one limitation, two limitations. One limitation is it has to always look into the leftmost column of the table. I am looking for D2 value in this table, but in this table, leftmost column is a D column. The value which I am looking for must be available into the D column. But if you look into the dimension data, my value is not in the leftmost column, but right side. So your VLOOKUP function will not work. To make it work, what generally we do, we will cut this column, we will paste here. That means I'm changing my original data structure and so on. See how much time it is taking for me. Otherwise, I can use the XLOOKUP function. For your information, XLOOKUP function introduced in the latest version of Office 365 are version 2022. Office 365 version 22. Now, let us take the lookup value. Now, this is what the lookup value, where I need to look. Now what is the second argument? Lookup array. That means this lookup value where I'm going to check in this column, comma, return array. Where is my answer? This is the column, comma. If it is not found, don't give me anything. Are you looking for exact match? Yes, close bracket. Friends, otherwise, even if you ignore these two arguments, by default, it considers as an exact match. See, very simple function, the very powerful function of Microsoft Excel introduced recently is XLOOKUP function. XLOOKUP function, look for this value in this column. If it is available, the respective value from this column, it's going to extract. Now let me just copy and paste. Wow. The entire customer segment came. Now you can write, you can insert the pivot table, go to the insert, click pivot table, click OK. Now take the customer segment into the rows. As you all know, pivot table is a tool through which you can summarize the data. Now let me do it again for you, whoever missed the previous step. Go to the insert, click pivot table. It is asking you to give the pivot table into the new worksheet. Click OK. These are all of the fields which I can find from my pivot table, right? These are all of the parts of the pivot table. If you keep something into row label, it will appear row-wise, one below other, the unique values of the field. If you keep something in the column labels, it will appear one after other unique values in the column-wise. If you keep something into the filter label, I will get everything one below other. For your information, filters, columns, rows mostly have the dimensions. Values always has the facts. That means you can have a sales, you can have the quantity, you can have the profit, you can have the discount, and so on, right? Now, what I'll be doing, as I said, I want to do the analysis with respect to the segment. Let me take this segment so that all unique segments came here. Now I want to do the analysis of sales. Let me take the sales. Wow. Now my analysis is with respect to the customer segment wise and sales wise. But after I analyzed this data, I did not satisfy much. Immediately my mind went towards what happened. I want to also analyze product category wise and segment wise. Product category wise and segment wise. But for your information, product category is from the product dimension, and I have to get the product category from the product dimension to the facts table so that that can be part of my fields, and that field I can take here. Again, what I need to do, I should use one more column here, and I should keep it as a product category. Product category. Then I have to write XLOOKUP function. Stop. I'm stopping here. Why? This is nonsense approach. The reason I'll tell you, if there are only 4 dimension tables are there, each table is having 3-4 fields are there. Those all fields, if I want to get into the market data, 4 into 3, 12. I have to write a 12 different columns XLOOKUP function. Understand in the real data sets of SQL data in an organization of the ERP, for each table, you will be having hundreds of columns. Let's say 100 tables are there. Each table is having some 20 columns. If you want to combine all these tables data into one single table, now you need to write how many columns VLOOKUP function? 2000 columns VLOOKUP function, which is a nonsense job, which is not at all great, right? So guys, I am deleting the work, what I have done till now. Otherwise, what I'll be doing, I will delete the work, what I have done. Now let me save this work instead of deleting. Let me put a folder called, let me just go here. Let me put a folder, let me take here. Let me put a folder called working files. Yeah. Working files. This is the proper practical demonstration which I have taken one data, complete set of data, and I am analyzing this data. Now let me take it using pivot table with the functions. Right? Now what I'll be doing, I will take the same data of working files. Right? Let me copy paste this data, Control C, Control V, using relation concept, shift concept. Okay, open bracket, open the file. Now what I'll be doing, whatever the work which I have done, let me delete. Delete this pivot table. I don't want this segment also. Delete. This is what the real data. Now friends, what I will be doing, I will convert this data into the table form. Table is one of the very important functionality of the Microsoft Excel. How to convert this data into the table form? Either you can go to the home tab, format this as a table. Automatically this will format as a table. That means automatically convert into the table. Otherwise you can go to the insert tab, just click this table. That means this entire data you want to create as a table. Okay, so it is automatically asking you whether your table is having a header or not. Otherwise, you do have a shortcut called Control plus T, so that this converts into the table format. Control plus T, let me use it. It is automatically taking and creating a table. My data is having headers. Let me click OK. Wow, this converted into the table format. Let me also convert this into the table format. Let me also convert this into the table format. Let me also convert this into the table format. Let me also convert this into the table format. Wow. Now, all my ranges I converted into the tables, but no problem. Now, this is the data I want to analyze. Let's go to the data. Let's go to the insert. Click the pivot table. Let me click OK. Okay, wonderful. Now, if you observe, all the fields of this table appeared. Below these fields, you are having an option called More Tables. If I click this, let us see what will happen. Now, do you want to create a new pivot table? To use the multiple tables into your analysis, a new pivot table need to be created using the data model. Let me click No. If you click No, it's not going to create another pivot table. But if I click Yes, It's going to create a new pivot table with all the tables, right? Now you are going to have another sheet, the same pivot table, but this is the sheet one, which is not relevant to me. Delete it. But this is what it has created after I clicked a button called all tables below this. Now this one is analysis. I requesting everyone, please concentrate. And if you go to the active, because this is what the active data through which I made the tables. But if you go to the all, there are two tabs here. Each table you can find here. Table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5. I don't think so. Anytime you might have found a pivot table like this having n number of tables. No problem. Okay. But it looks a little odd for me to know names called table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5, because this all looks very generic. How I can get these table names? Not a problem. Customer dimension, you go. On top, are you finding there is a tab called table design? Just go here. Let me name the table as a customers table. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me change this name. Customers. Right? Now, let me go to this table and change it as a orders. Let me go and change this name as instead of table 3 as a products. Let me also change this one as shipping. Let me also go and change this as facts. Right? Facts in the sense the sales data is available. Now, wow. If you go here, automatically it got changed. Oops, the facts did not appear. Is it? Yeah, it got appeared, but still I don't know why it's not giving me the facts. Oops. Now let me right click and refresh. Okay, sometimes the cache updates very poor. Now what I'll be doing, now let me go to the insert, let me click the pivot table, let me click OK, not a problem. Then what I have done, I just taken this more tables, let me click OK. Now let me delete this, delete, wonderful, right? Now this is what the pivot table for the analysis I want to use. Let me change the color difference so that you can understand that this is something an analysis related. Okay. Now, if I go here, I am having all the fields. Now, can I start doing the analysis? Customer segment wise, facts table, I want to take the sales. Oh my God, this is not giving me the correct answer. Why, guys? Because Excel did not know the relation between the customers table to the facts table. I should build the relations. Then it will get to know that, oh, customer ID is related from this table to this table. Then automatically both tables will get related. This is what the concept of the relationships. If you have an experience of using Access database, there also relationships concept is there. If you have an experience with any of the data modeling tools like SQL and so on, you will also have this knowledge. Now what I need to do, go to pivot table analyze. Probably you might have found n number of times the icon called relationships, but you did not do probably till now. Don't worry, I'll explain what exactly this concept is. Let me read the screen tip. Create or edit relationships between tables to show related data from different tables on the same report. Okay, so let me read out again. Create or edit relationships between tables. I have many tables now. I can do that to show related data from different tables on the same report. This is the report. Different tables data, I can get it using relationships. Let me click this. Once you click this, as of now, there are no relationships. You can click auto detect, automatically it will detect, but I don't like the feature. Many times, though it detects correctly, but when so many tables are there, we may miss the wrong detection and we may get the wrong results. So that's the reason always you build it. Once you click new, it is asking you to connect the tables. This table is market fact table. I want to connect foreign key customer ID. This table you want to connect with which table? Customers table with customer ID column. Customer ID is a primary key. Check it out. This is the primary key. This is a foreign key. Click OK. Wow. Once I connected these two tables, go to my pivot table. Wow. Now I got my correct answers. But there are other relations also I can make it, right? Let me do it quickly. Let me take the facts table. Let me relate ordered ID column, orders table, order ID. Let me connect and click OK. Wow. Let me also relate products table and product table. I did not select in the products table the headings properly. Oh my God. See, it has taken the heading of column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. So what I can do, just go to the table design. Then what I can do here, is there any option? Not a problem. No. What I can do here, I can resize the table. This is what the table, but I don't want to take from. Okay, otherwise what I can do, I can just change this entire table. I can convert into the range so that this table behavior will remove, so that I can delete the first row. Then I can convert this back into the table. Now I can use my table as headers. Okay, now this is a table. Your table is having a header. This is still the orders table. Sorry, this is the products table. Let me take products. Right? So let me go to my analysis, right click, refresh. Right? Now if I go down, yes, there is a products table. Now if I go here, let me go to relationships. Now let me go to the new market facts table where there is a product ID. Probably I can go to the products table. I can connect with the product ID. Wow, wonderful. It is always good to do the mistake so that while correcting, we'll get to know the concepts. Facts table, the final column which I want to link is ship ID with the shipping dimension, ship ID data. Click OK. Now, friends, every table is related to the facts table. Is it correct or wrong? Yes. Now that means all these 5 tables are related at the back end, one to other. Now you take any field from any pivot table, your analysis still holds good. Now what I can do, I can take the product subcategory here. Let me put the customer segment into the columns. Wow, how great analysis I can do out of this data. Check it out. How great analysis. Otherwise not possible to do this type of analysis without combining the tables from the product category or subcategory from the customers table. Now what I can do, I can use an option called a slicer. Let me tell you what exactly the meaning of slicer. For example, if I want to filter the data based on my shipping priority, then I can just have it shipping mode. Click here. I want to know, I want to take delivery truck, select this so that the below data entirely will change towards the delivery truck. Wow. For example, if I wanted to take multiple items of delivery truck and regular air, let me click OK. My data belongs to now delivery truck and regular air. But friends, this looks a little odd of drop down so that selecting items and so on. If 20, 30 are there, it is very difficult for me to select the items because I have to scroll down. That's the reason there is a great functionality. The pivot table has given the feature called slicer. The meaning of slicer is I can just go to the pivot table, analyze. I can insert a slicer. I want the slicer from the table of shipping mode. Just select this, click OK, so that beautifully one user interface with proper buttons appear. Now let me just select this. Now let me drag this. Now you can reduce this. This all looks like buttons. Wow. Let me change my pivot table theme, if at all, design. Now I want my pivot table design must be something like whatever you feel like good. Yeah, let me make the pivot table something like this. Okay. Now I can change my slicer. I can have a number of slicer settings. Now the little opposite color to this, let me give the blue. Now what happened, guys? If as I said, this acts as a button, I can just click the buttons. Wow. Just check it out how my data is coming. Wonderful, right? Now this is the button where you can remove the filter. If you want, you can keep the filter. Now I can just select it. If you want to select only express air, wow. Now, for example, I want to select only delivery truck. I want to select also express air, hold control key and select this. I want everything, just remove the filter. As simple as it, right? So guys, for example, I want to also connect another table. Let me also take order priority, another slicer. Wow. Check it out. Check it out. How beautifully I'm making a small dashboard for the analysis. I'm sure people will appreciate this. But if you want to keep properly on the chat on the top, what I can do, I can just take this. I can go to the slicer settings. I want this should come into the 3 different columns. Now let me make this bigger. Let me make this bigger. Now let me keep this so that you can exactly take till the size of your pivot table. Otherwise, you can make it small. You can make this small. Let me go here and take this. I want this should come into the 5 rows. Let's take 5 columns. I'm sorry. Let me take this, right? Let me take this. Now let me keep this somewhere here so that it can appear properly, right? So that 2 tables together. Now let me change my slicer settings, a different column or else different color, something like this. Now I want these both to be move at a time, right? I don't want these individually should move. What I can do, these all are the setting changes. Probably you can change it based on your color concepts and so on. Select this and select this, right click. I can just group these 2 together so that wherever I want to move it, both together, I can move it. Wow. Right? Now, for the regular express air, high order priority, I want to analyze the sales. Otherwise, regular air, high as well as critical, I want to monitor. Now, let me also add one more parameter called order ID. Guys, if I right click, if I take the slicer, there's no meaning of the slicer because order dates can have n number. Check it out. Oh my God, very difficult for me to manage this. That's the reason for the dates related, there is another great functionality called timeline. So that it can be part of the timeline, you can drag it in a very nice way. What I can do, I can just select till here. I can also select till here. I'm sure you all appreciate what exactly this functionality is, right? Now, let me drag a little up. Now I can just insert a couple of rows so that I can fit exactly this on the top. Now, this is the dimension. Now, let me keep the color of maybe something like a thick green color. And let me take this. I don't know why this is. Now, let me take year-wise data. Now, whenever you click the year, wow, very nice, right? Now you can just take a year, right? Now let me select this one as well as this one, right click, and now what I can do, select this, right click. I'm sorry, I want to group it. Select this and select this, right click. Is it not grouping? Wonderful. 1 second. This one, this one, this one, all 3 I can group together, right? Right click and group. You can group it so that all will move at the same time. Now see the beauty of this timeline. I can have the quarter-wise data. I can have the month-wise data. I can have day-wise the data. Now these all are the number of years start from the first day of my data till the last data. But this looks a little odd. So what I can do, I can take the quarter-wise data, otherwise the months-wise data. If I take the quarter-wise data, I think I can start doing the analysis with my data. See, friends, if you know the tools, you can play with the data. That's the beauty of this entire part. Now, what I can do, I can start taking from 2009 or 2012 Q2 till 2011 Q2. What is the sales? Otherwise, I can have 2022 Q4 and the Q1 data I want to console. Otherwise, if you want even the month-wise data, you can just go, I want from the March month 2011 till 2022 March month. What is the sales? Otherwise, I don't want this March from the April. I want to take only for one single quarter. Let's take this quarter, how this is changing. A simple analysis having n number of files at the backend. But let me take you into the real concept here. If you really ask me, I feel this is also a little nonsense process. The reason is the data entirely which is there at the backend, I have taken into my Microsoft Excel. Then I start doing the analysis. For example, let me ask you this question. If I open any of the file, if I modify the data, if I change the sales here, will my pivot table change automatically? No. The reason behind is I copied the text file data, I pasted here, then I started doing the analysis. That means when I copied and pasted, there ends the matter. That means till that point of time, whatever the data I am trying to do the analysis. Okay. But this is not a real automatic process. Of course, though you did a great analysis, but this is not linked to your real data. But when it is not linked to real data, then let us take the same concept from the SAP. SAP, there are n number of tables. Every time when you download the SAP data, copy paste into Microsoft Excel, start using the pivot table, doing different concepts, then you may not have the real data analysis. When the entries get updates into the SAP, you cannot find it. You cannot prepare your own financial statements with your adjustment journal entries. Once it got updates, your financial statement will not update. Again, you have to download the file. Again, you have to get into your Excel. Again, you have to do the n number of ways of slicing and dicing. Now, the one which I would like to go here is without taking my data into Microsoft Excel, how I can start doing the analysis, right? But before going into that, let me do a couple of further analysis. This is the one which I have taken from the product wise and category wise, right? Now let me copy this pivot table. Now let me paste this pivot table. Don't worry. Now what I'll be doing, I can just expand the column width, right? Now I'm just making it smaller so that you can see the real data, right? Now earlier I have taken product segment. Let me remove the product segment. Let me remove the product subcategory. Now I want to take, already I've taken the shipping mode, right? Already I have taken the product subcategory, right? Now let me take the product category wise, right? Now also let me take product category wise sales. I have already taken the sales. Now let me take region wise, customer region wise, the sales. Wow, right? For the same slicers, if you observe the same slicer, let me remove the filters from the slicer. Let me remove the filter from the slicer. The beauty of this entire one is if I change the slicer, automatically all the pivot tables are changing. Is it not real data analysis which I am doing? Probably this I can fix it as a filters on the top so that whenever there is a change, automatically everything is getting changed. Now let me also give you a concept of grouping I already mentioned, right? What I can do is I can take this data, I can take this pivot table. Request everyone please understand what I'm saying. Now let me paste my pivot table here. Now I want to do the analysis with respect to the grouping. Now I want to do the analysis of not region wise, not product category wise. I want to take the ship date. Let me take the ship date into the rows. Excel is smart. Wow, it is just working my data. Excel is smart. What it is doing, automatically it has grouped the data, but I don't like this grouping. Let me right click and ungroup. But I want to do my own grouping now. Right click, group. Now I want to group year wise as well as quarter wise. Click OK. Wonderful, right? Now if you go to the pivot table fields, now I want to keep the quarters on the top here. I don't want this. I just want years as well as quarters. Wow. Check it out, how this entire data got updated. Check it out. Year-wise, quarter-wise sales data I'm finding. Now, can we quickly do the same for year-wise, quarter-wise profit data also for the analysis, for the better analysis? Not a problem. Right click, show fields. I don't want sum. I want to take the profit. Where is the facts? Let's take the facts. I want to take the profit. Wow. Wonderful. Right? So if I just close it, let me expand the column width, automatically it will change. I also want to take maybe the, what I want is probably the discount. No problem. What I can do, I can just right click, I can just fill name. I don't want the profit now. Let me take the facts. Let me take the shipping cost, not required, profit based margin. So profit based margin is a percentage. I don't want to take it. Let me take the discount value. Otherwise, order quantity. Wow. Check it out. How great this entire pivot table is analyzing the data. Not only this, the best part of this analysis is, if I change my, now let me expand this so that now the pivot table is anyway bigger. Now let me expand this. Now let me also expand this so that people can appreciate all the figures here. Now, if you observe carefully, if I just change this, all pivot tables got changed automatically. See what I can do. I can right click. I can go to the pivot table options. Then I can preserve the auto fit the column widths on update. I'll remove. I'll also right click. I'll go to the pivot table options. Auto fit column widths on update. I don't want. I can also go to the right click. Auto fit column widths option. I don't want to be updated. So that, every time when it is analyzing, I don't want, right click, right click, pivot table options, auto fit column width. Today's session is a real case study. Instead of talking so many, we are taking one case study and going elaborate. Now what I can do, I can simply expand, probably I can do auto fit. Wonderful. Now this will not change automatically, don't worry. So now if I check it, wow. I want critical as well as high, and I want only for this month. I want year-wise. I want only for 2021, or else I want year as well as quarter-wise. I want 2020, 2004, 2011 Q1 till 2012 Q3. Wow. Everything. See, now the sky is the limit for the analysis. That is what I can simply say. Okay. So I hope you all understood how to make the grouping. This is a very simple grouping we have done. And of course, you can do n number of other levels of grouping. Now, what I can do, I can just take this. Anyway, we are here. I think it's better if we can do the other levels of grouping also. Now, let me do Control V. Now, I don't want this grouping should be based on, let me go to the field list. I don't want customer segment. I don't want product subcategory, but I want based on my sales. Now let me take the sales into the row label. But whenever you take the sales into the row label, it is giving all the unique sales one below other. But what I want is right click. I want to group. It cannot be grouped for that selection because it was into the text format. I'm really sorry. That's fine. See, this is into the text format, that's fine. But otherwise, whenever you start analyzing this, then automatically your sales also will be grouped properly, and it's going to give you the range wise. Now you can start doing the analysis in whatever the way you want. Okay. So this is the grouping of numbers, grouping of the dates, and so on. It did not happen, the numbers grouping, because the numbers by default, it was recognizing as a numbers rather a text. That's the reason, but don't worry, it is going to happen in the same way. Okay. Now, guys, let me save this. Let me close this. Okay. But as I said, this everything is manual still, if you ask me. Are you all interested to make it an automatic process? Of course, I'm sure you all. Let me open the Excel. What is the limitation of just now methodology, whatever I have covered? The limitation is a very simple limitation. The limitation is you need to get the data into your Microsoft Excel, but understand the situation. If the facts table is having more than 1 million data set, can you get the data? No. Why? Because your Excel maximum allows you 1 million records, 1,048,576. Okay. So if that is the case, you cannot get your data which is beyond 1 million. These days, 1 million records is not a real great data. Even if you take any small e-commerce company, throughout the year sales can be 1 million. Otherwise, you take a phone pay throughout the India, let's say if you get an assignment, if you want to start analyzing the data, within 10 to 15 minutes, if you take 10 minutes data of the phone pay, I'm sure the records may be more than 1 million. If you take any bank data for the analysis, in 1 second or 1 minute, I'm sure the transaction can be more than 1 million. So these days, 1 million is not really great number. If that is the case, how to overcome these limitations? Thanks to the ETL concept of Microsoft. There is a concept, as I said, the Power Query. The last week I explained using the Power Query how we can analyze the data. But today, let me take work with only this related example so that you can understand end to end of this type of case study better. Let's get the data. Now, where is my data? In the text.csv file. Let me go here. Let me go to here. Let me go to demo files, e-commerce data, customer dimension. Let me double click. Let me double click. Let me transform data. The reason behind this is the headings are not coming automatically. That's the reason. Go to the transform data. It will take you to the Power Query editor. Last week, I have demonstrated this. Whoever missed the last week's session, request you go to ICI TV and you can find the session. Now the headings are not properly automatically taken. Now what I can do, one second. I'm just trying. Yeah. So what I can do, I can do the steps. The advantage of the Power Query is all the steps can be here. Simple. Now one transformation I want to do is I want to use the first row as a header. You can go to the home tab, click this. Otherwise, go to the transform tab. You can use the first row as a header. Otherwise, you can just go here, use the first row as a header. In 3 different ways, you can do that. Go to the home tab, click this. Otherwise, go to the transform, click this. Otherwise, just click this table icon, use the first row as a header. So that every time from this table, whenever it is trying to load, it will automatically take the first row as a header. Now, guys, whenever I click home, are you finding there is an option that close and load too? That means that data, do you want to get into your table or directly you want to take it into the pivot table report, or you want to take into the pivot table chart, or you want to take only as a connection? I want to take only as a connection because I don't want to get my data because there is no meaning of keeping the data into my Excel. Let it be there at the back end. I want to only do the analysis. Make sure that you are checking this box. The reason behind this is it may be an independent table as of now, but when I take so many tables, I want to add all these tables into the data model because I want to relate all these tables. Let me click OK. Now that table will get loaded as a query at the backend as a customer dimension name. There are 1832 records got loaded. Now very quickly, let me take the other tables, get data from the second text file. Let me take it order dimension. First, let me load all the dimension tables. Transform. Let us see the glance whether it is everything fine. Wow, everything is fine, not a problem. Close and load because now headings also properly taken care. Now only create as a connection, add this data into the data model. Don't worry, even if you miss an option of selecting add this data into data model, later we can do that. Now let's go to the data from a file of the text file. I want to take the product dimension. Let me do the same process. Transform data. Is the heading properly selected in this case? No, heading not properly selected. Use the first row as a header, not a problem. Close and load to. I want to load to this as only create as a connection. Let's say I forget to check this. What will happen? We'll see. Close and load to. Now again, data. Last but one file, that is the shipping dimension. Let's go to the shipping data. Now let me transform data just to have a glance whether everything is fine. I can just close and load it too because everything looks fine for me. Then only create as a connection. Click OK. Now, guys, the last data is the fact data. Close and sorry, from the text file, that's a market fact, right? Check it out whether headings properly taken care. Yes, but still let's go to the transform step. But the only thing which I feel the important here is make sure that your sales format must be decimal, discount format must be decimal, order quantity format must be whole number, profit format must be the decimal, shipping cost format must be this, and this format must be the percentage. Okay, replace the current one, right? So that it automatically converted into the percentage. Now I can just close and load to, right? Only create as a connection, add this data into the data model. I think for the product dimension, I did not find, see, you will find the errors because the reason is whenever you convert it into the percentage, some of the not available rows appeared. How do you know that? Just select this, keep only the errors. Check it out. This is error because it is not available. When you convert a column into the percentage, then it is automatically giving you as an error because percentages doesn't have any meaning. Now let me remove this step. So what I can do, wherever error is there, I want to delete. How you can do that? That is another transformation. Select this column. In the home tab, there is an option of remove errors. So that every time when it is loading the data, it converts this into the percentage, it automatically remove the error. That's the meaning of it. So I can simply take this one, sorry, take this, close and load. Now you will not find any errors, but this number will get reduced that. Wow. Now, friends, if you see, if at all you miss any of the step, click load to. This is the one which I forget to uncheck, right? Click OK. Now every data got loaded. What is an advantage of loading the data? Now, since it is creating as a connection, if I change the source data, this everything will change automatically. That is the beauty of ETL tool called Power Query. Now let's go to the data. Okay, you can analyze the data. If you have more tables, probably you can get the tables here. But I want to analyze this data. How I can analyze this data? Go to the insert table, insert, click pivot table. But generally, whenever you select a blank Excel, whenever you select a blank data, when you click an option called pivot table, it's going to throw an error. But now whenever I click this, it is asking me to take a table, but table is not there. But if I go to the insert, if I click drop down, there is another option called from external data source, from data model, from Power BI. For your information, I have taken the tables into the data model. Let me click this. But in the old version, means 2013 or 19 or 16, whenever you click here itself there is a checkbox. Do you want to take the tables from the data model? Click the checkbox, click OK. But in this case, it has given separately. Let me go to insert, click this from the data model. Now, automatically it is asking, since already there is a data, there are tables in the data model where you want to get this, click OK. Wow, now I got the pivot table. All the tables appeared, but you will not get the proper results now. Hey, why there are only 4 tables? There must be 5 tables, right? Oops, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is the product table? Let me go to the data. Let me go to queries. Oh, product table also I did not load to add this data into the data model. That's the reason it got missed. Okay, now right click, refresh. Now you can just click this. Your product dimension also appeared. Now what I can do, guys, I can start analyzing this data like previous. Let me go to the product subcategory. Let me give the sales. Do you think I'll get my results or not? Put in the chat box or comments in the live video section of the YouTube. Do you think if I take the sales, whether I'll get my answers properly or not? Answer is no. The reason is, again, Excel did not know how the tables related to each other. Now you need to build the relationship. There are two ways of building the relationships. One is you can just go to this, click the relationship, how I have done earlier, you can do that. The other way is you can go to Power Pivot. If Power Pivot is not there, what I can do, right click, customize ribbon menu. Probably this might have unchecked. Let me uncheck this. It's not there, right? Now you can simply right click, customize ribbon menu. Power Pivot is not even there here. Yeah, it is there. Just check the box. Even the cases, if you don't find the Power Pivot here, customize ribbon menu tabs, then what you need to do, you can go to the file tab, go to the options, then go to the go to the add-ins, then you will find com add-ins, then go. I may be going a little faster, you may feel it, but don't worry, this video will be there in the YouTube. So whenever you feel some of the steps, I went faster, then you can just go back and pause, watch n number of times, whatever you feel. Again, let me show you the path. I can just go to the file tab, go to the options, go to the add-in. Let me select the com add-in, click go. Friends, Power Pivot is part of 2013 version onwards as an add-in, right? You can just select this, click OK, right? Then you can get that. Now let me go to the, otherwise go to the developer, com add-ins, select the Power Pivot, click OK. Once it appear, then customize ribbon menu, select the Power Pivot, click OK. Now you have an option called Power Pivot. Power Pivot is one of the very important functionality, which will take the analysis level to the next step. Okay. Power Pivot. Pivot table is a basic functionality through which you can summarize the data, through which you can analyze the data. You can do a lot of slicing and dicing. Power Pivot giving you a functionality to write the DAX, to work with measures and so on. We'll talk about measures and DAX maybe if time permits in the later sessions. Otherwise, if time permits in today's session itself, right? Are you finding there is an option called Manage? Once I click this, it will take to the next window. Okay, there is a new window called Power Pivot window. In Microsoft Excel, there are only 3 different windows you can find it. Power Query window, Power Pivot window, Visual Basic window. Whenever you want to write a code, once I click Developer, Visual Basic, a new window will get open. This is one. The other place is whenever I go to the data, whenever I go to Power Query, if you go to launch a Power Query editor, this is a new window. The next place is whenever I go to the Power Pivot, whenever I click Manage, this takes the entire data into the Power Pivot for Excel. This is the new functionality. As I said, let me show you the options. All the tables you can find here, which are part of the data model. Then you can get the data source if you want from the SQL data server or Access or service analysis tool pack, or if you want to get the data source from ODBC like tally cases, you can get the data. Otherwise, you can get the data from any other source like Azure SQL, Access, Oracle, Teradata, Sybase, Informix, IBM DB2, and so on, right? Then from any other sources is basically this. And you can directly get the pivot table from here, and there are n number of ways you can do that. Friends, if you observe, the very important aspect here is a view. View, I don't want this calculation area. This is the calculation area where I can write the DAX. Guys, I'm sure our ICI is conducting great practical training courses. Okay, but I'm sure in future they'll come up with the Power BI DAX application and so on. Then that time probably we can cover more elaborate. I'm not going towards the DAX because DAX is another another a bigger concept. If time permit, probably I'll take one demonstration of the DAX at the end of the session, but this is the area where I can write the DAX. If you don't want this, just uncheck this. If you want the data view, just keep it. Otherwise, you can have a view of diagram. See what will happen. The screen tip, switch to diagram view of the model. Use this view to perform metadata-driven operations. Such as managing relationships and creating hierarchies. The very important one. You will get to know once I click it. Let me click this. Now, wow, check it out. All the tables from the data view to the model view, it appeared. Don't worry, you can just expand this table. I can still expand this table so that I can see all the columns. And let me also expand this table. I can see all the columns. Now let me also expand this table. I can see all the columns. Not a problem, even if you don't find it, as long as dimensions you find it, that's fine. Let me also expand this table. Let me also expand this table. Wow, right? Let me zoom a little down so that you can see exactly how this is working. Let me make this. Okay. But friends, I want to connect the tables together, how we connected earlier, right? How I can connect the tables? Now what I can do, one second. What I can do is I can just drag here. I can just take this. I can drag here, right? I can keep the market factor in the middle. The reason behind is because it is a facts table. Now let me put my shipping data here. Let me put my product data here. Okay. Now I want to connect all these 4-dimensional table to my market table. How I can do that? It is very simple. Take the customer ID, drag here, connect to the customer ID. If you observe carefully, it automatically identified a relation, and it also identified whether this column is having unique values or this column is having unique values. This is having unique values. That's the reason it has given 1. This is the multiple, so it has given many. So this is a many to one relation, one to many relation rather. Okay, not a problem. This is what in fact we are looking for. Now what I can do here, let me also take order ID. Let me connect to the order ID column here. Where is the order ID? This is the order ID, right? Let me connect this column with the order ID. Wow. Relation came. Now, let me take the ship ID with the ship ID. Wow. Let me take the product ID with the product ID. Wow. Okay. Now, to make it properly arranged, let me take little upper. Okay. Now, let me take this little down, right? Now, let me take this one towards little right side. See how this data appeared. This schema, we call it as a star schema. This is in the model of star. Okay, so all the dimensions are around your facts table. Okay, so this is the way it appears your data. If anyone having any question, please let me know. Saran, why you have taken this? Why can't you directly go to the pivot table, use the relationship feature like what we have taken earlier? I can do that, but this is one way of doing it. If there are n number of tables, for me, going back, selecting an option, understanding which column and so on, this is the best way of doing it. That's the reason I have taken this. Now, if you go back to the data view, either you can click this or even you can click this, both will take you to the data view. Now, this is the symbol where you can find it related to the table. If you observe here, this is the product. Earlier, this symbol was not there. Now, this particular one, once you keep the cursor related to product ID in the table market fact. If I go here, there is an icon here. This is also related to column ship ID in the table market fact. Now you see all this. When you have this symbol of search, that means there's the multiple related to column ID in the tables of order dimension. This is product dimension, shipping dimension, customer dimension. If I go to order dimension, this is what the primary key. This is what the primary key. Okay. Now what I can do, guys? I need not to do anything. I can go back to my Excel. I can switch to my Excel. Automatically, my BI model is backside and I can come back. But unfortunately, from the VBA, you can come back to the Excel keeping VBA open. 1 second. Is my voice still audible? Can someone please confirm? I think my microphone. Is my voice audible? Can someone please confirm? Is my voice audible still? My microphone just got some issue. Is my voice audible? Can someone please confirm? Anyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it audible, sir? Gagandeep?
Yes, sir. Audible. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so let me just select this column and keep the comma format. I hope you're getting my point. So doing a relationship can be done in n different methods. One is now if I go, automatically all the relations happened because I did not do manually, but I did using the Power Pivot data model. Okay, manage. So I can just go here, I can do the analysis and so on. Now you can close this. Now all got related. Now you can start analyzing this data. Now what I can do, I can go to the customer dimension. Otherwise, just to make it whether this is really working or not. Now, what is my sales total? 3563834, right? Copy, paste special values. Just wanted to see what is my sales total figure, right? Now, guys, what I can do, I'll go back to my data, open the market fact. Now, instead of 1, let me put 0. Right? What will happen, Let me save. Let me close it. Now, if I go and go to the data, refresh, this should not be the correct number. This should get reduced with 1. So the final figure must be 3563833. Sorry, 333. Earlier it was 334. Do you think it worked? Let's go to the data. Refresh. At the bottom, all these queries will get refreshed. Means every query will go back to the source data, get the text column, CSV file, does the work, everything for you. Finally, it give the analysis. Check it out now. It is 3563833. Wow. This is what the power of using the ETL tools called Power Query. If anyone having any question, please let me know. I hope everyone understood. Now you can analyze the data. Now I can just take the customer segment. Now I can take the customer region, right? Now let me take the customer segment here. Oops, not a problem. Okay. So now you go back, do a change. This will get changed automatically. Now what I'll be doing, I can just go to the market fact. I can just go here and do, instead of 0, let me put 9, right? Save it, close it. Now, if I go here, this is 333, right? If I add 9 to this, it is 342. Do you think it worked? Absolutely. Go to the data, refresh, 356, last, check it out, 342 should come. It should, don't worry. Yeah. Wow, it got changed here. That means it belongs to the West. It also got changed here. That means it belongs to the home office and so on. Everything has been taken care automatically. This is the proper analysis of the data working with the ERP databases or any of the databases for that matter while you are in the audit or in the accounting or in the finance or in the controllership team, right? Let me save, I'm sorry. Now let me save this data, F12. Let me use it as analysis of data connecting to the real files. Okay. Let me save this, close it. Now, I think a pivot table today, we went very elaborate and started working. Friends, let me cover the beauty part of Power Query is combine the data. Combine is having 2 options, merge, append. First, let us start with the append. There is a data which I already kept here, products data for the consolidation. January month data is there. Let me just open this data. I'm sure you can find this data. This belongs to the January month. And there is a data February. This is the data which belongs to the February. Right? This data which belongs to the April. Then this is April, May. Where is the May data? This is the May data. All the data sets are there at the backend. Then this June data. And finally, this is the March data, right? I want to console all these data sets together. How I can do that? I want to console in the sense I want to append all these data sets together. How I can do that? It's very simple. Go here, append, get data from. You need not go to the append. That automatically it will take care. Go to the folder. I can go I can just go here. I can go to the demo files. I can go to product data console. Don't take the data individually because I have taken a folder. Just select the folder, click open. So that in that folder, all the records will come automatically. All the files will come automatically. Then you can just click the transform data. I don't want to directly do the combine. Let me show you the steps. So what happened, this is what the binary file, the beauty of the Power Query is. It can store the list, it can store the table, it can store the function, it can store even the files in the binary, right? This is what the Excel file name, this is what the extension name, this is what the date accessed, the date modified, date created, and all the attributes of this, right? Now, if you observe carefully, this is the content. I want to extract the content. What you can do, you can just click here. Automatically, there is a button called combine. It is one of the very beautiful method of doing it. What it is doing, Mr. Saran, I understood that you are having one file. Now, what I can do, I can just take this and I can click OK. Otherwise, you can take this and you can click OK. This belongs to the total products. It is automatically combining. What I can do, I can either go and write the M formula to do that. Otherwise, I can click this button as a combine all the files. When you click this button as a combine all the files, it is just trying to show me, Saran, this is the way I'm combining. Is it okay for you? Right? Now, what I'll be doing, I can just close this. This is one method of doing it. The second method is I can just go to the data. I can just go here. I can go and select the from folder. Now I can just go to the data. I can go to where demo files. I can go to products data for console. Then click this. Here itself, it is smart. Here itself, you have an option called combine and transform or combine and load or combine and load to. Combine and transform will take me to the Power Query. Combine and load will take me to the Excel. Combine and load will take you to a pop-up message where I can decide what I want to do that. Let me click combine and transform. Now it is automatically trying to show me, Saran, this is what the one which I found. Please select a sample file. Now, if you take, for example, this, it remembers the product ID. That means the sheet name. Then based on that, it is trying to open. Try to understand, everyone. Right? Now, if you observe carefully, it has taken the April month data completely, but below April month, there is an error stating that the same table name, it is not there everywhere. That is the problem. Okay, try to understand when you want to combine the data, it is about how your files got arranged, how your data got arranged, and how your other things got arranged. Based on that, the consolidation will happen. Now, what I can do if I want to correct this error, I should go back, make sure that every sheet name should be the same. Otherwise, every table name should be the same. But when I have taken a sample, now it has taken every sheet name the same, right? The sheet name it has taken as, what, if you go here, it has taken this file, then it has removed the hidden files, then it invoked the custom function, then it has taken wherever the sheet name is a prod D. Okay, but I don't want to do that. Now let me close and discard. Okay, I'm just telling you different options, what problems may come. I'm just giving you the introduction. Consolidation of data sets itself is another 10 hours, the course or maybe the training, because based on our data sets, the data sets can be consolidated if the data is available, okay, or all the worksheets from one workbook. You can consolidate all the worksheets data, which is part of one workbook. Second one is all the workbooks in one folder. The other one is in one folder, all the workbooks having single sheet in one folder. Otherwise, all the workbooks having many sheets in one folder. This is one way of doing the consolidation. There may be a chance each workbook having many sheets, okay, in many folders, including subfolders. Your Power Query is capable of doing all these, right? Let us take a very simple demonstration of the first one. Let me open the Microsoft Excel file, right? Let me take 4 sheets, 2, 3, 4, or else let me take 3 sheets, as this is a Jan, this is a Feb, this is a March, right? Now let me select all the sheets to keep some data. So select all the sheets. This is just as a name, sales, then A, B, C. I'm just taking a rand between function equal to rand between 100 to 1000. Copy paste special values, right? Now each sheet is having 3 data sets, and first one is having 2. Let me delete this so that identification can be easy. Second sheet is having 3. Let this be. Fourth sheet is having 3. Third sheet is having D. 500 is also there. Now I want to combine all these tables together. What I can do, guys, is very simple. Go to the data, get data, right? You can take this file itself. Otherwise, you can go to the launch Power Query editor. Power Query is having very great functionality. Now I can right click. I can just go to other sources, take a blank query. Power Query is having a lot of powerful functionality called M functions. In the formula bar, whatever the steps you do using the UI, it automatically writes the M formula. If you know small M functions, you can do the great analysis. I can write a small formula. What is the formula? Excel dot current workbook, open bracket, close bracket. Now what happened? It has identified what is the current workbook of Excel. As of now, it has not taken anything because it is not recognizing my Excel current workbook because it only recognizes the tables. So considering the fact as a tables, I will discard it. I will just go here. I can convert this into the table format, Control+T, click OK. Let me give the table name as Jan. Try to understand what I'm doing. Now let's go here. I can just convert this into the table. Let me go here. Let me give this name as a Fab. Now let me also go here and let me convert this into the table. Now, oops, 1 second. Convert this into the table. Let me give the name as a March. Now the same formula if I write. Now if I write the same formula, going to the data, get data from a blank query. Where is the blank query? Click the blank query. Now if I put just equal sign, Excel dot current workbook, I'm sorry, Excel dot current workbook, open bracket, close bracket, it automatically identified the content from the tables. So what it recognized automatically, not the sheets, it recognized the tables from the current workbook, also the defined names. Now what I'll be doing, I'll just close and load it too. I will not do anything, just create as a connection for the time being. Now let's say there is a data here, Saran, Kumar, Bhairav, Harsha, then Maruti. I'm just giving some different names. Okay, Maruti, I've just given different names. Now I am just selecting all these. I'm sure you all know that Excel, there is a concept called a defined name. I can just go here and I can put a defined name called friends. Okay. Now, if I go to the formulas, if I go to name manager, you can find a defined name called friends. Automatically, you will find another 3 defined name called table names, but fine. Now, if I go to this Power Query, automatically that defined name also. Now what I'll be doing, I'll simply refresh. That friends also got added, because as I said, it's going to select the table or the defined names. Now in this case, I don't want this table. Now what I'll be doing, I can simply go back. And to my Excel. Now just close your, delete this defined names. Just delete this defined names. Go to the formulas tab, name manager. I don't want this. Click OK. Now what I can do, let me go back to the Power Query. I'm just telling you different ways how you can handle the data. Now you just refresh. What will happen? Where is the refresh? Refresh, only 3 items appear. This symbol is nothing but combine. Now use the sales data, name, sales. Let me click OK. Wow. Combine the data. And also this is the name of the sheet. So this is the month name. See at the right side, I'm sure I've taken the source data, expanded the columns, reordered the columns, renamed the columns. Let me close and load this data here. Okay. Now it has created only as a connection. I want to get this data as a console. Now create as a table in the new Excel worksheet. Let me click OK. Wow. Let me keep this name as a console. But friends, the problem, you know what will happen? Whenever I go and refresh this becomes a double. Do you know the reason why? It has taken all the tables. Even this console itself is a table. It has taken, if I go and refresh, every time it reiterates the data. Now the number got 28. If I go and do that, this 28 will become 37. If I go and refresh, this 37 will become 46, because every time it also adds this console file. This may be having a problem. I know that. Then what I need to do? No problem. Let me just go and change this console just for the easy identification. Let's go to the source. At the source, I know that there is a name called query or console for the matter. What I can do, I can unfilter this. While doing the analysis, except this query, let me work everything. Now you can expand, now you can reorder, now you can rename, now close and load. Yeah, check it out. But it is console now. But there what I have unchecked, I unchecked the query, because earlier the name was query. Now I changed my query name. Now again it will refresh. Now you just go to the data. This will just keep on increase. Now what I can do, I can just refresh this data. Check it out. Refresh. Sorry. Let's go to the data. Again, let me refresh. Again, it will get increased. The reason is, let me go to the console. Now what I'll be doing, I can simply go to the data. Okay, filter. Here the filter I said query one, right? Instead of query one, let me take the console. For your information, Power Query is a case sensitive language, whereas Excel is a case insensitive language. Meaning of case sensitive is uppercase, lowercase, or both are different. Case insensitive in the sense both are fine. Now just go and load the data. Now you just refresh, just go to the home tab. Wow. Now, even if you refresh, nothing will happen because I removed the console sheet while working with the data. Now, what I'll be doing, I want to take the April month. Let me take April month. Now, what I'll be doing, I don't want to take much time. I just want to copy this. I want to paste here. Now, I want to take this data is something different, or else let the data be there anyway. I'm bothered about the number of records. Let's go to the table design. I want to make this as April. Now, what will happen, guys? Go to the console, data, refresh, it takes all the tables. Wow. Now, for example, if I take May, let's go here. Let's take May. Now, what will happen? Let me take all these tables. Let me go here, paste. If I just refresh, this will automatically get added May. Now, because I have just, whatever the table name it is there, it has taken. Now I want to take a proper table name for this as a May. Let's go here. Let me keep it as a May. And also, if you observe carefully, now the refresh automatically, this will get changed. If you observe carefully, 17 records are there, right? Now, if I just go here, make it as E, then 10,000, 1 lakh. If I go to the data, just go to console, just go to the data, refresh, this will get automatically add. That is what the power of it. This I have already considered. Okay, then guys, it takes a little time because you need to understand the core functionality of Power Query to combine the data sets together so that you can consolidate many data sets. In fact, I can give the example of 18 to 20 different ways of consolidation. Okay, so I'm just stopping here the data. Let me save it. Console data from workbook. Right. So let me save here itself. Last one demonstration I can take, and we can probably close the session. Okay, this is also console data from workbook. To close it. One demonstration I would like to cover, which also can be helpful these days. Data is flowing into the Google spreadsheets, Google Drive. Many times when you are trying to take the data, we open a Google Drive, Google spreadsheet, we will copy the data, we will paste it into our MS Excel. And again, after 2 days, we will copy the same data, paste it again, do the analysis and so on. I'll take one small demonstration, how the Google spreadsheet data can automatically fetch into your Microsoft Excel. Let me stop sharing my screen, quickly open one of the Google form. Maybe let's go here. Let me just go to the, just give me 1 minute, don't mind. I can just go to Google Drive. I'll just show you. I'll share the screen, don't worry. I'm just trying to open the data. Okay, so I can just close the, shorten the URL, Control C, copy. Okay, guys, let me share the screen so that you can understand what I'm talking here. Okay, friends, this is a Google form. Already there are 43 responses. I got it. For example, let me share this Google form to the session. I don't know whether host can share across this Google form to the students. I request host, please share this Google form to the students. If you can share it live, otherwise you can just open in the YouTube and maybe you can just share across there. Let me open the YouTube. Let me take ICI TV. Just let me go here. Wow, this is the live session of mine only. Is it my session? No, no, this is not our session. And this is the session, I think is our session. What I can do, I don't know whether I can do it or not. Comments, is there any section of comments which I can do here? No, surprisingly.
No, sir.
I don't know.
We'll get it posted, not an issue.
Yeah, you can
You share with me, I'll get it posted.
Yeah, no, madam, because now I want students should live, at least some students should give the data here. Okay, I already kept in the chat box. If possible, share across to them, otherwise leave it.
Sure, we'll get it done.
Yeah, so share across to everyone, ma'am, quickly. Yeah, now guys, what I can do, this spreadsheet data will come at the back, and I'm sure you all know that, right? How this spreadsheet data, you can get it into the Microsoft Excel. Just go to the responses. Whenever you click this automatically comes into the Microsoft Excel. There are already 19 records, almost like today only one person got a given ABC. I don't know who is this person, but what I'll be doing, I'll just click the share. Let me click the share. Let me go to this editor. Make sure that once you click the share, this by default comes viewer. I want to convert this viewer access to the editor access. Then you copy this link, just copy this link, then done. Now what I'll be doing, I will just go to my Microsoft Excel. So what I can do, I'll do Control N. Let me do Control V. This is what the share option. But friends, in this, there are 3 keywords you are finding. Edit, USP, share. Edit,
USP sharing. Now you can change this to export, wherever edit is there, change it to export. USP, you can change it to format. Sharing, you can change it to XLSX, right? Now, if I can take the same link, paste here. Now what I can do, edit, I can take it as export. I request students are whoever attending the session, don't put any data into the Google form. I'll tell you when to do that. Now USP, change it as a format .xlsx. This is. That means I want to export this particular link into the format of Excel. That's the meaning of it. Let me do Control C. Let's go to the data, get data from the web, right? Control V. Now, because it is already having an edit option, so that whoever having this link can access the data. That is the meaning of it. Let me click OK. Okay. Now, it is going to open a form button. Now, this Google sheet is having two sheets. One is sheet 2. The other one is sheet 1. Sheet 1 is a responses. Now, let me go to the transform data. Let me go to the transform data. Now, what I can see, the same data what you are adding in the Google form, I can find here. This got refreshed 29 days back. Let it refresh again. So whoever, I think only one person has given the data live, A, B, C as of now. I want to convert this into the proper date format. Just do it in the date format. Replace the current step. And I want to keep this as the date. Not a problem. Just keep this at the end. Now, let me give this name as test Google form responses. Right? Now you can close and load to the Microsoft Excel. Now I can simply load this data into the Excel. Now, guys, now there's a lot of data got added. Now, before giving it to all of you, let me open my Excel, my window in a incognito mode. Let me do Control+V. Okay, where is my link? Let me copy the link again, whatever I shared with you people. Yeah, this is the form link. Let me copy from Vidhi ma'am what she just now posted. Now what I can do, I can just go here, go to my incognito mode, Control+V, enter. Now let me give the name as, my name is ICI, city is Delhi, country is always India, submit. Wow, this will go to the drive, there's no doubt, without even going into my drive. And let me go on refresh here. Don't worry. Wow, ICI Delhi, India. I request the students or the participants who are attending this session having this link, just keep some data so that you can see how exactly it is working. I request everyone, please do that. Anyone, if you get a chance, start adding the data. Let me refresh. Yeah, no one added. Okay, but anyway, you understood the concept, right? So in the Google form, whenever I update, automatically that comes here. Now, can I tell you the way how we can do we can take this into the next level for the automation? If your client is an MSME client, get the data in the Google form, he can easily fill the data, connect it to your Excel, use the Tally TDL. You can load this entire data directly into your Excel, into your Tally. That means once the data gets updated by someone in the Google form, that data will be there into my Tally. If I just refresh after opening the Tally, gateway of the Tally, company, ODBC connectivity, refresh, done. It's not about getting the data from Tally to the Excel, but I'm talking about importing the data from Excel to the Tally. N number of TDLs are available. Let me see the luck whether anyone loaded, anyone updated this data. No, as of now, I don't know whether form has been reached to everyone or not, but this is the proper demonstration I've given, right? Now let me take another name. Sorry, Vidhi ma'am, I'm just taking your name. I don't know, Vidhi or someone. So let me take some
Sir,
Mumbai.
no issue.
Yeah, let me take India. So just let me submit, go back to my data. Just let me refresh. That will get updated here, right? Even you can make my refresh also as a proper timing. I want this has to refresh every 1 minute. So let me click OK. Now let me go back here, submit another response. Now let me put my website of YouTube name Excelism, the Excelism, right? So this is city is YouTube, and now the country is world. Just as an example, submit. Now whenever I go here, I'm not going to touch the refresh, but as I said, every 1 minute it will refresh. Have a patience for next 30 seconds. At the bottom in the taskbar, you'll automatically find it that it is refreshing the query. Then you can identify. Either you can see here, or you can see in the taskbar after 15-20 seconds. I'm sure by this time 30-40 seconds are already over. Wait for a while, please. Automatically that the Excelism YouTube world will update here automatically. I'm not touching anything my Excel. You can see my hands. Yes, it is refreshing. Wow, it updated. So understand, when the data is continuously flowing, instead of me going into the Google spreadsheet and further analysis, again taking the data back into my Excel and doing it, let people share the data. You can just analyze in a real time. That is the way you can do the automation. I think I have covered, elaborated anything, the question and answer, probably we can take it. This one, let me save this as a Google sheet link to. Yeah, yeah. Yes, Madam Vidhi, Madam.
Yes, sir.
Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful session. And I must say that it is a very intuitive presentation. The topic by your good self is very subjective and very, very informative. Thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful thought with us. And so many students have benefited from today's session from your current, their current day-to-day problems. And I just want to share with you that the knowledge you shared last week was very interesting and informative. In fact, it becomes the highlight of that week. And that it becomes a topic of everybody's discussion, how to use more and more Excel into day-to-day life for auditing also. I can tell you that how much everyone appreciates it. And I would like to thank on the behalf of entire SSEB and CA students. So now let's move to the questionnaire session. The question that has been asked by the student is, first question, sir, is it possible to link
Vidhi ma'am, your voice is breaking. I did not hear your question. Vidhi ma'am. Madam, I could not hear your voice. I don't know whether Gagandeep or someone can hear the Vidhi ma'am's voice. Yeah. Vidhi ma'am, we could not hear your voice.
Okay. On behalf of Vidhi Madam, hello.
Gagan, go ahead.
Yes.
Gagandeep,
Okay.
go ahead.
On behalf of Vidhi Madam, I would like to put up one question. What is the latest features of Excel in Microsoft 365?
Yeah, there are a number of new functionalities introduced in Microsoft 365, especially the functions called unique. For example, when you have a sample of, let's say, Sharon, let's say Gagandeep, let's say Vidhi, let's say another Sharon, then Vidhi. If I want to have, for example, a formula which can remove the duplicates, earlier we used to go and copy paste this, and we used to go to remove duplicates and click OK. Instead, a beautiful function called unique has given in the recent version of Excel. Just write the formula of unique, it automatically changed. If I change it here Maruti, then automatically that will get update. If I change it to Maruti here, that will automatically update. If I change it to Maruti, that automatically update. Okay, along with the functions called unique, and there are n number of functions. Let me just put a functions sequence. In fact, there is a function called sequence, and in fact, there is a function called rand array. In fact, there is a function called filter. There is a function called let. Let is very powerful function. I just would like to give you the very important part of let. Let is basically you can define the variables, a programming concept they introduced into the let function. The meaning is I can define a variable x. What is the meaning of variable? I'm allocating a value of 5. In fact, this question is for all the students. You can answer. Let me give the variable of y. Already x is having a value of 5, right? But I am now defining a variable called y. For y, I am allocating a value of x. Can you tell me what is the y value now? It is 5 because already x is having a 5. Then y is x is nothing but y is 5. Now I want to make another variable called z. Z is nothing but x plus y. Finally, I want to give a calculation or a formula which should display is x plus y plus z. Can anyone answer this question? X variable having a value at the backend called 5. Y variable having an answer at the backend x. X means already 5. Z means x plus y. X is 5. Y is also 5. That means now z is 10. So x is 5. Y is 5. Z is 10. My answer will be 20. It looks like this is a very small function. Understand a situation whenever you want to use length function of half kilometer, where sometimes the same function I may need to repeat again and again and again, or else the same range I may need to repeat again and again. You can define it once. That variable you can use throughout your formula. That is the beauty of let function. Along with that, there are many functionalities like if you observe carefully, there is an option you can see here called analyze data. When you have a huge data, once you click this button, it automatically discover more about your data. It analyzes data, looks for patterns that includes outliers, different pivot tables, different charts, and so on. Yeah. Yes, Gandhi.
So next question is
for a few, just for a few of Office 365 functionalities. Yes, Vidina.
Sir, is it possible to link web data to Excel for the analysis?
Absolutely, yes. Just to give you one example, probably let us take what is a favorite website we have. Let's say BSc data. Let's say BSc website. Let me take this. I can just take BSc. Okay. So on BSc, on the data, how many tables are there? There are n number of tables, right? So it automatically captures these tables, but you should have a patience because it should load. Now I can just open my Microsoft Excel. Now I can just go to the data. I can get the data from other sources, from the web. Now it is going back and doing the analysis and connect the data. It is trying to establish a connection through the browser. Of course, your network should be on to work on this. Now it is identifying the entire HTML page or whatever the page, all the items. There is a document which is nothing, not having much thing. And there is a table 0 got recognized, table 1 got recognized, table 10, and so on. Out of these tables, which table data you want? You can just select that particular table and you can load into your Microsoft Excel. Now let me take the table number 0, having all the indices and their results. Let's go to the transform data. This data will get loaded in your Power Query editor, and I can get this data back into my Microsoft Excel. Now, the beauty part of this is whenever the BSc website gets changed, I'm sure tomorrow if I open this file, refresh tomorrow afternoon, because tomorrow markets will get open, these all figures will automatically change. I can see the change here. And the another beauty, as I mentioned, you can just go to the connection. If you are a real stock market guy who want to always analyze the data, every 5 minutes, you can just give a connection and automatically at the time of live real stock exchange data, this data will get updated. See, why should I open my browser at my office and people may think that I am wasting my time. Probably you can connect the same thing to your Excel and it looks like an Excel, but you can get entire information. And I'm not taking another example of how CricBuzz data can get into the Excel, because today a lot of students will go and watch the cricket. Even that data from the Excel, you can watch it, that refresh automatically every 1 minute. Yes, Vidhi ma'am, go ahead.
Can you enlighten us the other ETL tools in the markets available?
Yeah, one, as I mentioned, Power Query is another great tool that is part of your Excel. This is part of your Excel as well as Power BI. This is also part of your data flows, right? So there are many ETL tools, but one of the very famous tool is Alteryx. Alteryx is not only just the ETL tool, it also acts as a AI ML tool. Artificial intelligence and machine learning tool. You can do a lot of data analysis. Data scientists use it. Alteryx is basically exactly like how Power Query works, but in the Power Query, the user interface is entirely different, where right side all the steps are happening and so on. But whereas in the Alteryx, there are n number of tools. For every transformation, there is a tool. Probably you can load the data, use those transformation tools, and finally you can go to the output file. Yeah. And one more is NIME. In fact, whoever the qualified chartered accountants, they may heard about this. NIME tool, already ICI is having a certification course on this, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Yes, madam.
Yes, sir. The last question is, sir, can you share us any of the, case study on that? Any real-time case study automation in the audit domain, sir?
Yeah, in fact, actually, today we thought of taking it. As I said, this is a reconciliation of two data sets, for example, just as an example case study. And in this case study, if you observe, when you change this original data, this entire reconciliation will change automatically. Just to give you as an example, let me remove this, and also let me change this figure to 42,000. Now this reconciliation statement will automatically change along with all the extracts of all these 4 reconciliations. If I go to the data, if I refresh, then check it out, this figures will change, and also all these 4 tables will change automatically. Check it out. Yeah, this figure got changed earlier. And even last time also I demonstrated, you can get the foreign exchange data from the website. And for the bank audits, you can create your own small tools, and you can do a number of automations now. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. There is no further questions. Gagan, hand it over to you. You are mute on that. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Vidhi madam. Good afternoon, everyone, to the one and all present online. Honorable Chairman, Student Skill Enrichment Board, Board of Studies Operation, C.A. Sushil Kumar Goyalji, respected Vice Chairman, SSCB, C.A. Sridhar Mupalla-ji, and keynote speaker, C.A. Jayanwaz Sharma-ji, Chairman, Board of Studies Academic, and all the participants. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all dignitaries. On behalf of SSCB Board of Studies Operation, I extend a warm welcome to the students present online in webinar. I would like to express my gratitude to our eminent speaker, C.S. Saran Kumarji, for their presence and contributions to make this webinar a great success. I may like to express our sincere thanks to C.S. Saran Kumarji for giving an excellent coverage to topic automation techniques of effective audit via different tools and encouraging us with your words and enhancing the knowledge in lucid way you presented to the students. I must thank to the organizing team, Ms. Vidhi Gupta-ji, volunteers for working hard for the every weekend to make this series of webinars successful day by day. I congratulate all the participants for their active participation. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. Thank you.
Students, be connected online on every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the live webinars on the practical training modules from SSCB. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you all the students.
I will disconnect him.